but you gotta work kind of quick if you're doing wet on dry. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I have kind of like a burnt sienna, really, really watered down with a little bit of red here. Super, super watered down, just to kind of show y'all what that's looking like. And that's kind of my skin tone base. It's just something warm, at least with Caucasian skin. That's what I go for. Experiment with different colors, try to find some interesting ones that might work out for different skin types. But this is what we're working with today. I'm going to try and tackle this light side first, right here, and then go back over with the shadows. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I think if I start off with lights, it's going to be much, much easier on me for the shadows to cover up those light areas. And I'm really, you know what, I'm really not going to stress out too much about what's going on with the skin tones. Usually I would, but for the sake of simplicity and just getting paint down, that's what I'm going to do. And I want to move relatively quick here. Like I said, I don't mind going back over certain areas. I'm kind of stepping a little bit outside of my comfort zone by not leaving those kind of whiter areas I usually do here. Now at this point, if you want to go back and add maybe different little tones that you see here and there, you know, everyone's going to see things differently. I kind of see some slightly warmer tones. So I have a little bit of whatever red that you have kind of mixed up beforehand to throw in some areas that seem a little bit blushier. I'm just going to put that here and there and just kind of leave it be.
You mean let it be?
Let it be, yeah, let it be. I'm not going to stress too much about how that turns out. I'm just going to let it be. I'm also going to go over here on this side, throw in this kind of more yellowish. What were you saying?
Bruce?
Yeah, the bruise right on there. Ah, man, I hope that doesn't cauliflower. If it does, that's okay. We'll accept it. And now I'm feeling pretty good about putting in those shadows. One thing to be kind of careful about is with the eyes. Sometimes I don't really like to leave eyes very white. It kind of can be distracting sometimes, but I'm not there yet, so.
Wow, that's a serious dark shadow. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely that dark shadow going on. I might take a little bit of brown because it gets a little bit warmer, higher in the face. And again, this dark shadow that I have is a mixture of just some dark blue. I'm using Prussian blue and burnt umbers, dark blue and a dark brown. Oh man, I forgot to. It's okay. This is where things start to get a little tricky. If you feel like you want to switch over to a smaller brush at any point, by all means, go ahead. Just so you can get some Harder to reach areas here and there. Get right up next to that. As I'm moving around, I'm seeing maybe some warmer tones, so I might do a quick mix with some burnt sienna. It's not going to affect it by that much, but might as well throw that in. And again, I'm really looking at my shadow shapes, the shapes that the shadows make on the face. It's okay if things look a little funky at first. It's totally normal. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with some funky looking faces. I've made lots of funky faces. Where are we here? I'm gonna jump back, do some risky stuff right now. So I wish I brought that further before. That's okay, we're here now. Just filling in some spaces that I didn't get a chance to. Ooh, that looks awful. Ugh, it's gonna cauliflower off.
Well, you're not allowing it time to dry.
I know, I'm being impatient.
That's okay, we're getting the gist of what we're trying to
Right.
learn.
Well, you know what? That could be a cool look. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. You know? Nothing wrong with that. Lips, lip tip. Upper lip will always be darker than the lower lip unless you got some interesting lighting going on. Just the way that they're curved, you know. Light is coming down onto your lower lip while your upper lip is hiding away from the light. It's kind of pointing down towards the ground. Can you all see over there?
Mm-hmm.
Apologize if it's upside down. All right, here we go. I'm gonna jump over to some areas this way. Attempt to dry brush a little stuff around the eyes here that I see. It's under some shadow. Start throwing in some darker values for the eyes. He actually does not have whites in that eye right there. Interesting. Dark for the nostril. And some darks for the eyebrows here. Start picking up a little bit more of that burnt umber, this mixture down here. Y'all mind if we go a little bit over class?
Mm-mm.
I'm okay.
No curfews?
No, my husband's at home.
It's gonna be just as dark driving home.
Yeah,
Hate driving in the dark.
I might have to leave.
that's okay.
Somebody's got school tomorrow.
Me too. It's weird. I've been actually not seeing as well as I used to in the dark, which kind of bothers me. I don't know if it's my prescription or my astigmatism.
Probably the astigmatism.
I have
There's some-
astigmatism, driving at night, and driving at night in the rain.
Oh, it's
Mm-mm.
awful.
Driving at night in the rain is awful.
Yeah. There's some kind of night blindness that can be corrected with different lenses,
Mm-hmm.
which is worth investigating.
Putting a nice dark line there. Probably shouldn't have gone as dark as I did, but you know, we're here. Maybe I might try to lighten that up a little bit since it's still got a little bit of moisture. If I go right by it, darker lip color, could lighten that line up. So I'm lightening that lip and hopefully lightening the line, or darkening the lip and lightening the line a little bit. There we go. Bring this down over here too. If you feel like you see a certain color somewhere, throw that color in. See what happens. Can't hurt to try. This is where I start to do some bad things. Or I feel like I kind of want to go back over. I'm not going to this time. I usually would. And it usually turns out in a way that I'm not a fan of. So we're going to move on to the hair. Again, I'm looking at the dark and light patterns. For the light patterns, I might do some light dry brushing if I can. And that's just putting my brush kind of to the side and using the belly to paint as opposed to the tip for my dry brushing.
And that's the burnt sienna and the Prussian blue?
This is burnt umber and
Burnt
Prussian
umber.
blue. Burnt umber is that little bit darker tone. That burnt sienna is going to have a little bit of that.
Orange.
Yeah. And this is where I start to have fun with the mixture here. Just, you know, sometimes it comes out a little bit greenish, but every once in a while you'll get some nice shades like this. And I think mixing on the spot can give you some nice color variations here.
I never have enough paint when I do that.
Right? I'm just going to throw those in there. I'm just going to bring that down here. Almost looking like an album cover. Do a little bit more here. Going back over some other areas. Just be loose with it. Have fun at this point, right? Some dry brushing here and there. I'm gonna go darker in the center because that's what I see. Paint what you see. We're starting to lean a little bit more towards almost that weird kind of blondish look around here. We're gonna bring this hair, start coming along here. This is just some drawing stuff that I happen to know how to do. And a little bit of blonde, why not? 'Cause that's kind of what I see there. That's okay. I like that. Brings a nice highlight, but because of that, I want to add a nice little shadow on his face to help keep that separated. I'm going to go back while I still have this, darker color, start darkening some other areas, maybe come back on the eyeball. Definitely going to come back and darken some lines around the eyes. Starting to get to a nice color for the mustache. It's a little bit lighter than the left side. Here. It's going to come to his lip there. Now that's looking really weird to me because we do not have those lines for the eyelashes or around the eyes. With this nice smaller brush, Go in, outline the top of that eye. Bring it in a little bit there, right? All I'm doing is looking at my picture, my photo reference here, painting what I see. Now, here's that thing where I said earlier, hopefully I have it on camera, where I said the whites of the eyes can look and feel very, very weird because they're just so white, whereas the picture, it is a little bit off-white. So, usually before I do this, I would do that little thing, but I want you to kind of see how it looks with that bright white look to it. I'm personally not a fan of it. So usually I would use some colors to kind of very, very lightly kind of mute it a little bit so it's not as bright. Here's an important decision. If you want to start going back and adding some darker values here and there, you can. I think I might hold off just because I'm kind of liking how this looks. Maybe I'll add a couple lines. Nothing crazy. I'm going to keep going. I'm not really going to work with that many layers. You can always go back, add as many layers as you want. Try to stop at some point. You know, that's always the trick. Know when to stop. In. I'm looking back. I wish the lips were a little bit more pink. Just a little bit. But controlling myself, going back too much. Go ahead and throw in some of that color.
Okay, I got it.
Right, just so we can, you don't have to do the whole eyeball. We're picking some up, that's okay. They're along for the ride. Let's be a little risky here. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to darken some stuff around here. You know, I said I wouldn't. Can't help myself. Bothering me too much. I'm gonna look at the really dark areas. I'm just going to jump the gun and throw it in there. See how I feel about it. And I like that. That feels good. I think that's feeling a lot better for me. Just bringing a little bit of darkness right on the side of the nose. I think that helps bring the nose out a little bit more. little bit of darkness on the side of the face. Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. I'm happy I did that. Take risks. Someone singing Pocahontas?
It was quiet for a while there. I thought maybe they weren't doing it tonight.
Yeah.
And now-
Yep, now you can hear it.
Newborn moon. Yeah, it's a good one.
You have to have a lot of self-confidence and no hearing to do
Get all
that.
liquored up.
I think, yeah.
I've
this
done
is
it.
pretty-
I've done it 2 weeks in a row at this point. It's fun. Does it look good, Emily? Is it Emily approved?
Yes.
That's what matters.
If you had a voice, I don't think it'd be that tough to do, maybe on stage.
What if you don't know anybody and you'll never see them again?
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
have to have some
always
voice.
say
Yeah.
to my friends. I'm like, dude, you don't know anyone here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This ain't even your crowd.
yeah.
Just do it.
And ignore the fact that my phone is recording.
Some-
Uh, see, that's what you can't do. You can't record unless they ask you, or else they'll never do it again.
See, I don't let my husband take pictures of me because he puts them on Facebook and it's
Oh.
like, did you have to take the worst of the bunch? Really?
You could always go back, add some darker areas, but I think I'm getting to a point where I'm feeling pretty good.
You should. That looks really good.
I hate
I
it
like
so
that. I
much.
like that.
Very
It's-
multidimensional.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That extra darker layer, really,
Yeah.
the value being darker really differentiates the face
Yeah.
and the
It's
hair.
very scary. It is very, very scary doing that extra darker
I know.
layer.
Watching it was scary.
Yes.
Trying to
It is.
duplicate it is even scarier.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. We have our little hair tutorial. Then again, I just need to stop. But probably shouldn't have added that. That hair was already looking nice.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's looking more and more like George.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The more I throw in there.
Yeah, really. Oh, gosh, I'm so jealous.
Hey, I'm super warmed up. You know, I've been doing lots of paintings the past 2 days. Do 10, and then try a portrait, maybe. Do several portraits, because
Yeah.
you could kind of see the progression of portraits here, right? We had my first one, second one, the third one. Absolutely hated it. Hated it. Fourth one, I was feeling a little bit better, and now we're here at the fifth one. And it's, I would say this is all within like a 24-hour time span, right? And if you did this every day, man, that's lots of progress right there. All right, I'm done. I'll call that finished.
Can I take a picture of that?
Thank you. Of course you can. Of course you can. And you know what?
Thank you for the reference.
Yeah, of course, of course. I actually really like this area right here, where it was like wet on wet,
And it blends.
and
yeah.
it just,
More natural.
it feels really natural. It has a really nice watercolor touch to it.
Yeah.
Alright, see you next week.
Good night.
Okay.
Take it easy. Yeah, think about what you want to do for your final project.
Yes.
Excited.
It ain't gonna be a
Wow.
portrait.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it is.
Open studio.
Oh, so we can work on everything that's gonna be half finished?
Right. I'm like, how this is going right here.
I'm liking the shadows on the face.
Shadows are
Like I
feeling
said,
good.
I'm not happy. I wish I had it. But you live, you learn.
But here's the thing, I'd say don't even touch this, like the shadow. Just leave it right there. Do not go back.
No, the shadow's good. The hair, I'm not happy.
Leave the, leave the.
I think it's good.
Yeah,
This is her face.
the face, you got the shadow shapes now. Once you throw in that nice little pinkish blush, the little red lipstick, the eyes, good luck on the eyes. The eyes will be, eyes are tough.
Maybe I'll choose you can.
Don't use a pen. No pens on this.
Oh,
what are you gonna do,
fail me